Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel and the videos. Please continue to do so, it's much appreciated. Get that algorithm working in my favour, really appreciate it. Your support is amazing, thank you. We're going to jump into the next part of our FreeBSD mail server today, starting with postfix admin. So postfix admin, let's jump into our and here it is. As you can see, I'm logged in. We're going to log into MySQL. Hopefully you remember your details from last time. And the first thing we're going to do is create the postfix database. So there we go. We'll then create the postfix user and give it the correct privileges. Choose a suitable password. I'm going really secure, as you can see. There we go. Let's flush those privileges so they are taking effect straight away, and we can come out of MySQL, MySQL. Okay, so next we need to move into the directory where postfix admin is installed. So we'll do that by going user local www postfix admin. There it is. Excellent stuff. So we want to create and edit a config.local.php. Now the reason we do this is we could, in theory, just edit the config.inc.php, but if we do a local.php, whenever this gets upgraded and updated, the changes stay there. So we'll do that, and we're just going to paste in a load of stuff, so bear with me. Again, once I've finished this there we go. Once I've finished this tutorial, what I'll do is I will put a link up to all of the steps written so that you can take it straight from that. So we'll change our domain here. That's one of the most important things. So it was example.com. We also need to change a few bits here. So let's change these two. As you can tell, the example.com is not a natural domain to me. It's not the one I use. Or one of the ones that I use. Keep wanting to type something else. There we go. We'd also change this, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not going to worry about this too much. So this will be the link that's in the bottom of the web pages on postfix admin. But as this will be running on an internal computer, there's no point doing it just yet. There we go. So that will do for that. Okay, so the next part will be to install sudo. The reason we do this is that the scripts that auto deletes a lot of the stuff when you delete a mailbox will use sudo in the background. There we go. Once we've done that, we'll just create our sudo as www file. And we'll just put in this, which allows www to execute stuff as vscan user. Okay. So let's put some scripts in our root directory. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. We'll make the directory for now. Let's make our deleted directories, and we'll just change the permissions on them. And then we will copy the deletion script and we'll change the permissions of it. There we go. So now we want to edit that script. There we go. So let's edit the domain post deletion, and we'll change the base dir because it's not there. So user local virtual, and then we want to find the trash base and change it to user local virtual deleted domains. We want to do the same for the other script. And we'll change the trash base to user local virtual deleted mailboxes. Okay, let's create the vacation user and the group. There we go. For those of you wondering, this is so that we can have auto reply set up for when we're on holidays and vacations for you lot over the pond. Okay, so let's change the ownership of that. And the permissions of that directory, and then the permissions of the file itself. And then we'll create a log file so we can see what actually happens there. Quickly change the ownership of it. So now we're going to just edit that vacation script, which is var transport vacation PL, and we're just going to go user bin env Perl, and then we're just going to change the DB setup. So we'll go down to, here we go, our DB type, and we'll comment that one out, uncomment that, and we'll just change it so that it uses MySQLi. Our DB host, local host, username, postfix. I know, very secure. Oh look, just change that to com, shall we? That's nice. And then we'll go down to our log file. Varlog vacation.log, lovely. And log level, we want 0. And log to file 1, which turns it on. Okay, so let's come out of that one. So now we've got that set up, let's add an entry into postfix's master file right at the bottom. And then we'll just add a bit of a transport map for the main as well. So let's find transport. There we go. And let's add in these 2 lines. It will probably take me a little while to actually get all this up onto the web for you guys, so please bear with me. Setting up the prerequisite for web server, it's nice and easy, but it will take a little while, especially when real life gets in the way. Okay, so let's just pop that into the transport, and then we'll post map it so that postfix can actually read it. There's missing equals. What did I put in that was wrong there? Okay, in main line 768. We don't want them, do we? There we go, that's better. Okay, so let's start dovecot and postfix. Okay, so let's start dovecot, and let's also start postfix. And we should see that they are both now running, and we can do that by using tail. There we go, that's running. And we should also be able to see that with top. There we go, so we can see a couple of services running as postfix there, so that's great. We know that they're both running. And also we can try telnetting onto it as well. So should we give that a go? Why not? port 25. There we go, mail.example.com. Excellent stuff. So let's quit out of that. Dovecot server's up and running. We can check telnet on port 110 just to show that. There we go. And there's the banner that we set, if you remember, in the previous video. Okay, so next we're going to move on to one of the most important parts, and that is Spam Assassin. Now this thing is really good. It's really powerful. It's an absolute staple with the industry. You will find that a lot of mail servers are using this on the back end. They may well have recoded it slightly so you don't know that that's what it is, but a lot of companies are using this. It's really powerful. So we're going to jump in and do that. So first thing we need to do is edit the Spam Assassin local.cf. So we'll change out of this directory and go into mail Spam Assassin. If we look in there, you'll see some example configurations. So what we're going to do is just edit the local, and we're going to change a few things in here. So the first thing we're going to change is the plugin for the Base store. So what we want is to add it at the bottom, to scroll all the way down, and we're just going to add in our plugin settings. There we go. Now, if your internal network is different to that, change this. Mine is. Of course, when you can't actually remember your internal network, that's always clever. 146.86.0, and also we'll change it for the trusted networks as well. Come out of there. Now, for any of you that are keen-eyed, completely forgot to actually set the database usernames. So I'm just going to put in what I've set mine to. There we go. Once we've done that, let's become the vScan user. Excellent. I am vScan. Brilliant stuff. So let's make sure we're in his home directory. We are. So first thing we want to do is set up the Razor. So here we go. So on this one, please make sure that you change it to the password and username that you're using. And so for this one, I'm just going to do postmaster example.com and password for now. That's all we really need. Right, you won't get this message. This is purely because I'm using a domain that is just an example. But you won't get that. So we'll come out of that. Next, let's set up some other bits and pieces. So we're going to do OCR, fuzzy OCR, which is optical character reading. So this will allow Spam Assassin to actually scan what is inside of a picture, which is really powerful. So first thing we want to do is get all of that installed. Bada boom, bada bing. This will take a few minutes. I'll come back when it's done. Welcome back, everyone. So that's all installed. Let's carry on. So let's just make our GIFinter, because it's not actually installed by default on FreeBSD's implementation of ImageMagick. So we'll just we'll use ImageMagick's convert, and then we'll just make that executable, and then we'll copy the fuzzy OCR stuff We'll copy the fuzzy OCR stuff in Spam Assassin so that it actually uses it. And we're just going to quickly, you may not need to do this, but we'll give it a go. There we go. So that'll just get rid of the double user local entries, and then we'll get rid of the backup file of that. So next we're going to set up our ClamAV, which is the antivirus. We'll just make sure that it's running first. So we'll set fresh clam because that means that it'll update. And we'll just change the directories of it. And we'll start the services. There we go. One more. Okay, right, so this is a permissions error. This does happen from time to time. So what we'll do is we'll just add the ClamAV, which is UID 106, to our vScan group. User mod. ClamAV 1SG vScan. Okay, so we'll just make it group writable. Double check it. There we go. So if we do a fresh scan now, a fresh clam now, it should. There we go. It should download all the necessary updates. So to recap, what we need to do is add the fresh clam, the ClamAV user to the vScan group, and then give that folder group writable permissions. There we go. And that is saying that because ClamAV is not running. So let's start that. All right, so it's telling me that ClamAV isn't running. So let's start it. This does take a little while for some reason. There we go. So that's that started up. So let's now just set up the Mail Guard software. Like I said before, this is the part that actually pulls it all together and does all your filtering. Okay, so we're going to change into user local etc mayor, and we're going to edit a couple of files in here. So the first one we're going to edit is mayor.conf, and we're just going to change a couple of bits. So the first thing we will change is the database user's password. So there we go. And they're just rewriting. Type. We want 4. Auth method. We want SQL. And then the base URL. Which is fine for our setup. So let's run the executable. Yeah, of course it did. Okay, so there we go. We've run our config test. We know that part is now working. So let's, while we're thinking about it, update Spam Assassin. Should have done that earlier. Okay. So let's become our vScan user again. And we're just going to load the Spam Assassin rules. Look for any issues. That's all good. And then we can exit out of that user. Okay, next we're going to edit the config.php, which is not located in there. It's located in user local www mayor. And we're just going to edit the config.php. There we go. Sorry about the boings. Okay, so we just want to change our time zone if we're not in where it says we are. Australia, Sydney. No, we're not. Am I technically in Europe anymore? Not sure I am. So this will be PHP time zones. So let's just double check to see. So I want to put in here Europe, London, because that's the closest to me, closest city. Not actually in London. Okay, so I just want to change the SQL DSN. We are using my SQLi. Okay, let's just put the whole lot in there and then work backwards. Wow. So put in our vScan password. Let's put in a purifier cache. Let's change our rewriting. There it is. So we want that as 4. And then we want to change the auth method. And we want to spell it right. We could set this to SQL as well, but we're not going to. It's much quicker to do it that way. Okay, let's edit the myad.conf, which isn't there. Or is it? Let's edit the mayad.conf. There it is. And just change a couple of bits. So we want to change the lock file. To var run mayad.lock, and then we'll change the PID file to the correct place too. Change my domain. My host name. And then we want to look for our DSN. Look up DSN. There it is. And we just want to change it from Maya to vscan, and we want to change the password, of course. Let's look for unrar, because we want to uncomment that. And then we just want to change something in the ClamAV setup. So you'll find that there are a couple of bits about ClamAV in here. So it's this one we want to change. So it's var run ClamAV clamd.sock. And that's it. That's all we need to do in that one. And then we can start the service. So let's put the service as turned on when booting. And then start it. This is where we find out how many errors we got. There we go, that started straight away. So let's just double check that we've got the right content filter in postfix. So user local etc postfix main blah 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 content underscore filter. All right, so we haven't got it in. Damn. Lucky. Right, so we haven't got that in. So let's add that in. And then we'll just add it into the main file as well, into the master file. So we'll put this at the bottom, because I'm pretty sure it's not there. So let's have a look. No, not there. So we'll put this in at the bottom. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. So we'll just pop this into the bottom. And this just tells postfix what to do when it uses that content filter. And then we'll restart postfix, or at least reload the configuration. There we go. We just add some cron tabs in so that it does its nightly stuff, weekly stuff. Okay, so we've got our cron tab stuff there. Okay, so the last part of this would be to set up the web server to run all of these services. So we'll be using Nginx. And last time we set up one called domains, and there was our domain. So we'll just go into that one. We've got our server name. So we're just going to change the root of this. You can add, what I've done in production is add a new virtual host for this. It tends to work very well this way. There we go. We'll also need some postfix admin stuff in there as well. Not too worried about showing you how to work this. Once you've got your web server running this part, it generally works nice and easily. So let's just come out of there. And restart Nginx. And there we go. So that is now set up and running, and we can log into our POP and IMAP servers as and when we want. Anyway, that will do it for today. Thankfully, this series is now coming to an end. It's been quite monumental. If you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. As always, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If you have, give it a thumbs up and a like and a share, and please subscribe and keep coming back for more content. I've been Gary. I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care.